Hey guys, today I'm going to make a video on a couple different tips on turning faster. So, a lot of people actually neglect turning speed, like physical turning speed, but I think it's one of the most important, if not the most important thing to speed cubing. Obviously, with all the emphasis on look ahead recently, it's kind of become secondary, but I really think it should be up there with look ahead, if not even more important. And a lot of people have been kind of neglecting it. So this is for those people, I guess. You might think you're able to turn fast, but really even if you're turning fast, there's a lot of things like regrips and tension that will kind of be slowing you down. So say you can do like a soon really fast, that doesn't mean you have good TPS. So first thing I'm going to talk about is regrips. So there's really two types of regrips. There's good regrips or regrips that don't really matter. An example of I'm going to be doing all the examples on white, even though I solve on red and orange, but most people solve on white. So say I'm doing drill, and I have this CMLL alg. Well, generally regrips aren't good, but in this case, this alg has a regrip, but it's not a bad regrip. So I'm going to do the alg. My hand's in this position, and I know I need to do RY2 next. But as I'm regripping for that RY2, my left hand's doing the U2, and so as I'm regripping, I'm turning, and you can't do two turns at once, so you aren't losing any time. You can't solve on white. So those types of regrips aren't very bad. I don't really know any more examples, but there's lots like that where if one hand is doing a turn, that other hand can regrip or vice versa. Bad regrips would be something like, say you're pretty inexperienced, this is a very simple example, and you're doing this soon and you go like this, and then you regrip and regrip again. Your other hand isn't doing anything, it's not helping the right hand hand's doing everything, and those regrips are actually slowing you down because the time spent doing this is time spent not turning, so therefore it's time spent wasted. Time wasted, basically. So you want to eliminate as many of those as possible and be very open because there might be a lot in your solves that you're not noticing. That's the first thing. Second thing is tension. Now, tension is something people don't think about really at all, and no one's really mentioned it, but I actually think it's very important. If you've ever played instruments, like I play the piano, it's important not to have tension because then it actually gets inaccurate. What I mean by this is, say I'm a very tense, while cubing, I'm keeping very strict. Well then, like when I have to do an awkward turn, like maybe an F move or something, I overshoot or something like that. Tension generally is a very bad thing. You want to be as relaxed as possible. And also when your fingers are relaxed, biologically, you're literally able to turn faster. So how do you do this? Well, number one, just not gripping the cube too hard because your grip is, when we're doing an alg or something, drilling an alg, our grip more or less stays the same. But, there's many finger tricks like this or, this, that keeps your thumb off this, which is the main grip is something like this. And there's many algs, that change the grip. And if you're very tense during this change, then you're going to kind of, fiddle around with it a bit and waste a little bit of time. At least you'll lose concentration a little bit. It's a hard thing to explain, but you'll see a significant difference if you actually mentally, try and be more relaxed while cubing. And this also helps with look ahead because the more relaxed you are, the less physical ability you're actually spending on this, and the more you can focus on looking at the colors and the pieces and where they're going. So that's very important. In fact, I think once I kind of came to that, or understood that, or really realized it, I think my all times maybe got half a second better, which is pretty good since I average like 10.5 seconds. So that's it for the video. Did I have something else to say? Another thing is, don't drill algs too much. Why I say this is, it's not, you always want to drill algs if you're like learning that, but really you shouldn't be drilling algs that much unless if it's a really hard alg outside of your just normal solves. The reason this is when you're drilling an alg, you tend to get some standard configuration, so your hands in a standard way you start each time. Like say I'm a Soon, I can do a Soon fastest with my hands here like this. Well, it's not always going to happen. Say I insert my F to L pair and my hands over here, I insert it, I get a Soon. Well, my hands are out of position, I have to regrip, that's bad. So you want to be flexible with all your algs and be able to do them with different grips. So for example, I can do a Soon, like this, probably the fastest way, but I can also do it like this. Let me do that again. Like that, with my hand like this, and same thing, I can do it fast like this, like with my hands up here, just bring it down. Or for example, I'm able to do, dots quickly because the way I do it, it's actually, I might make a video on this, but it's, in my opinion, and my opinion seems to be right here, the most efficient way of doing it because, in your position for LSD, your hands are turning like this, and the only movement you have to make from my dots execution is just moving your thumb up here, which is very fast, and it's very fast to do. But that's another video. So these are just some things to think about. There's not exactly some drill you can do to improve these things, but once you're thinking of them and conscious of these things, I think it will really help your time. So thanks for watching. Bye.